Thank you for attending Youth Development and Outreach Through Technology and Golf. This breakout session presented by myself, Tony Powell, Senior Director of First Tee, and Malason Chanthapanya, First Tee College Scholar attending Texas Wesleyan University. Today we'd like to share some information regarding the mission, reach, and impact of First Tee, and where technology and corporate outreach plays a role in our ongoing success. The First Tee is a youth development organization that enables kids to build strength of character that empowers them through a lifetime of new challenges. By seamlessly integrating the game of golf with a life skills curriculum, we create active learning experiences that build inner strength, self-confidence, and resilience that kids take with them in everything they do. Established in 1997 as a way to introduce golf to communities that historically did not have access to the game, the First Tee has evolved into a recognized youth development program with significant national and international reach. We began as a way to introduce the game, but we have evolved into so much more. Announced in 1997 in Central Park by then PGA Tour Commissioner Tim Finchem, President Bush, and leaders of the golf industry from around the country, the program got off to a flying start, establishing programs in numerous communities throughout the country. When we realized that we were having success, building facilities, bringing the game to communities of need, we had a captured audience, we realized that we could do so much more, and thereby started to establish the life skills experience in the early 2000s. By bringing young kids to the program where they have caring adult mentors, a safe place to be, and now a curriculum that teaches golf and core values and life skills together, we felt that we could have a much deeper impact. Fast forward 25 years, and now you can see the actual reach of the program. We have over 150 chapters of First Tee delivering programs. Chapters of First Tee are independent nonprofit entities that are organized and serve the communities where they're based. Those chapters operate around 1,400 green grass golf facility program locations and continue to reach kids at the grassroots level. We also have over 11,000 elementary schools delivering physical education programs, introducing the game of golf as a healthy lifelong activity and introducing the core values and life skills. Additionally, we have after-school programs which partners with community programs such as Boys and Girls Clubs, Parks and Recs, and youth centers, where we also introduce the game of golf and hope to transition these young people into the green grass facilities. You will see that last year in 2020, we reached almost 4 million young people, which was an amazing feat given the challenges of 2020. Our chapters adapted and they were agile and they found ways to maintain their ongoing impact to these young people. When you look at the makeup of the youth that we reach, we continue with that growth into underserved communities. Nearly 40% of our participants are female, which is above and beyond the industry standard, and more than 50% of our participants are non-Caucasian. We continue this reach. We're excited by what we have done, and now I want you to enjoy this short video of where we are at current day and where we're heading.
Come on, let's play around. But it's not just any tee. It's where resilience begins. For over 25 years, we've used golf to teach lessons about life. We've spun the unexpected challenges on the fairway to coach kids about adversity in the everyday. We've given them the space to be who they are and the guidance to help them realize what they're capable of. With a proven values-based curriculum, we help kids become great teenagers and self-reliant adults. It's not just a game. It's game-changing. Where can you find us? In 150 chapters all around the U.S. and even a few abroad. In 10,000 PE classes for students of all backgrounds. In 1,600 community centers teaming up with after-school programs. at signature events opening doors for teens across the country, and at colleges, providing selected alumni with scholarships and mentors. At First Tee, social pressures cave to responsible decision-making. Green time beats screen time every time. Giving up is left behind for goal setting, and doubt is taken over by grit. Every experience helps kids become the best version of themselves so they can lead more confident, more impactful lives. Join us as we build the next generation of game changers.
I hope that you enjoyed that quick video. To be successful, we must break down barriers that keep kids and families from feeling like they don't belong, no matter what walk of life. We aim to develop a deep understanding of the audiences we serve and reflect this in everything that we do. Our work is even more powerful when we invite, listen, and learn from diverse perspectives. Building game changers is at the heart of everything that we do, and you'll hear that message a lot in today's presentation. But what does it actually mean? When we think about building a game changer, we're preparing a young person that is prepared for college and career, that seeks leadership and opportunity, that appreciates diversity and gives back to their community. We seek to instill these traits in everything that we do. Our participants make a commitment to be a game changer. These 5 commitments are the keys to unlocking character. On the screen you'll see pursuing goals, growing through challenge, collaborating with others, building positive self-identity, and using good judgment. When we talk about pursuing goals, we want our young people to be excited to grow and learn. With growing through challenge, they're discovering inner strength. Collaborating with others, they're respecting diverse perspectives. Building positive self-identity, they're finding their inner self-confidence. And using good judgment, they're respecting the rules of golf and the rules of life. These are participants' commitments that they make themselves and go through our programs and everyday life, carrying these with them in everything that they do. So our focus as an organization to help these young people become game changers, we're focused on 5 key initiatives to help enhance and reach this impact. Expanded programs and growth, technology innovations, curriculum enhancements, diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, and college scholarship program are the key initiatives. When we talk about expanding the programs, we want to create more opportunity in the communities, more learning centers, more schools that we can reach, more community partners. When we talk of technology innovations, we're enhancing our curriculum, our training, our data tracking and analysis, and everything that integrates into those technology advancements. Curriculum enhancements, along with the technology, we're refreshing the way we engage with these young people to keep them motivated to learn and remain with the program. Our diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives form 3 pillars: people, access, and support. And our college scholarship program is a robust and meaningful experience for these young people that are enrolled. We'll dive a little deeper into a few of these initiatives. With technology initiatives, First Tee is committed to interfacing with all of our constituents in a way that's fun and meaningful in today's environment. That means that we're making significant investments into technology on all fronts. As I mentioned, enhancing and developing a mobile app, the registration portal that parents experience, our data analysis, seeing where we can improve, and driving adoption of these technology advancements. How do we help our chapters move forward with us, bring on board these new enhancements that we have, and engage with the kids, the parents, and the communities that are using these enhancements. Breaking down the digital divide is a big part of what we're trying to do with our technology advancements. Despite us being able to create these progressive methods, not all of our students and chapters have access to the technology they need. We will continue to invest in breaking down that digital divide, providing devices, access to the internet, and making sure that everyone feels comfortable with these new methods as we move forward. Diversity, equity, inclusion has always been part of the first T. The game of golf, like our society, bears the marks of prejudice and injustice. Barriers including financial resources, access, acceptance, have made entry to the game difficult for minority groups. When we think about the first T since '97, and we formed as an organization to go into communities to introduce them to the game, we've continued down that path through everything that we've done. We mentioned earlier the participant makeup of a great number of females and non-Caucasian participants. And we also mentioned our schools. Of those 11,000 schools, nearly 2/3 of those are Title I schools, meaning that those kids are on free or reduced lunch. So we're reaching into these socioeconomic challenged communities as well. The three pillars that I mentioned of people, access, and support in our diversity, equity, inclusion initiatives are vital. Our people need to be trained. Headquarters, chapters, volunteers, everyone should and does appreciate diversity and recognize it's important. Access, we're looking to increase the number of locations, increase the number of schools, increase the number of diverse coaches that are interacting with our participants. And support is coming from headquarters to our chapter markets, analyzing the data, providing marketing materials in different languages, and providing all sorts of resources to help promote diversity initiatives. The First T Scholarship Program provides valuable life-changing opportunities to our youth. Helping them prepare for success is at the core of everything we do. Over the years, we've provided millions of dollars of financial assistance to our First T participants. But recently, we made a move to make the scholarship program much more robust. Now, not only do our participants receive financial assistance, they also receive one-to-one mentoring. They receive semi-annual workshops that provide them professional advice, and they also receive advice on career placement. Our college scholarship program is something that we're very, very proud of, and today I'm very proud to introduce one of those scholars to join me for a conversation on stage. I'd like to introduce Malason Champapanya. She is a First T scholar from the First T Fort Worth, and she currently attends Texas Wesleyan University. Welcome, Malason.
Hi, it's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's excellent to have you here. Thank you very much for joining us. So let's jump straight into it. I'm sure everybody wants to hear more about what you've done and where you're heading. So you're a participant from the First T of Fort Worth, as I mentioned. What first interested you to join the First T, and how did this all start?
Well, it wasn't really my decision. I was 5 years old when I first joined the First T of Fort Worth. My dad wanted my brother and I to try different sports, and he saw that First T was an ad, and he saw that and he wanted to go try it out. And he's like, let's go try golf. And that's how I started with First T, and I just stuck with it for the rest of my life.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad he encouraged you to come and check it out. When you got to the First T, what did you find? The locations, the coaches. Can you talk a little bit about the coach or the leaders at the First T, and are there any that standed out stood out particularly for you?
From what I've heard, when I first joined First Tee, we didn't have an official location. We were at a park, so we started off hitting in an open field. We were just hitting range balls in an open field, and we've now grown a lot. And as I've gone through the First Tee and grown, I've met many coaches and staff members that work at First Tee, and they're all great and they all help. And I've seen kids and families just connect with them. But one particular coach that I've really connected with is my coach, Coach Jason. And he has taught me not only golf skills, but he's taught me how to be more open as a person and to connect with people and to just really don't be afraid of talking to others and not to stay in my comfort zone.
That's awesome. And do you still stay in touch with Coach Jason now that you're out of the program?
Yes, we meet sometimes to play golf.
Wonderful. I'm glad that that's continuing now that you're over at the university.
Yeah.
What skills would you say that you've learned with the First Tee that you bring into other areas of your life?
There are many skills that the First Tee teaches you, but in particular, I think goal ladders and go-to teams that the First Tee program has taught me has really affected other parts of my life. Goal ladders are small sets of goals that lead you to a bigger goal. And so using that in school has helped me prioritize what to do and not to be too overwhelmed. And go-to teams are people that you can turn to, that you rely on and that support you. And really building those go-to teams has helped me not stay too focused on one thing and allow myself to relax and go to other people and seek help or support or fun.
That's awesome. I still use goal ladders myself when there's a big project coming on and we're trying to get to the end result. That's great that you've had all of these experiences, at the golf course and with your chapter and with the coaches that have been guiding you and working with you. Can you tell us about some of your favorite experiences that you got to participate in because of First Tee?
There are a lot of different programs that First Tee has provided me and that I have the pleasure of going to. The very first one I remember going to is the Battle of the Boot, which is the First Tee of Fort Worth versus the First Tee of Dallas. And you would play with a partner from your own chapter against two other people from the other chapter. And you really play against each other in a game of golf. And it was really fun in kind of like a Ryder Cup type of way, but also because you got to play golf with friends and meet new people from other chapters. That I've been doing that for a long time. But another program that I really liked or event that I got to go to was Pebble Beach. That was amazing. It was unreal. And the whole week is probably one of the best weeks of my life. You got to see Pebble Beach, which was amazing. I also got to play Poppy Hills, which also was pretty amazing. And I got to meet so many different people from different chapters, and hearing about their experiences and their stories, I connected with them. I saw some of myself in their story, and I also got to meet the different pros that played, especially the pro that I played and his caddy and his family, and all the events that they planned, like the concert and things like that. It was great.
That's wonderful. I know Pebble Beach can be a life-changing experience, and as you say, not only for the experience that it brings on the golf course, but those connections that you make with your fellow participants will stick with you for a lifetime. And of course, the pros love it. I know it's their favorite event, so they
Yes.
love being able to be with you guys out on a beautiful golf course as well. So I'm glad you got to experience that. What skills do you think that experience brought you, and what skills has the program in general provided you that have helped you kind of think about the future and prepare for the future?
From that week specifically from Pebble Beach, I learned to get out of my comfort zone and to just talk to people, because naturally I'm a very quiet, introverted person. So it's hard for me to go up to someone and say, "Hi, my name is," like, "how are you? What grade are you in?" Things like that. I learned to go up to others and just push myself and be more confident to go to someone, and not just a first tee participant, just to like the professionals and like other people in general. First tee has also reinforced that, like going up to someone and shaking their hand and introducing yourself and just actually going up to them. But the first tee has also taught me to public speak and give speeches. Sometimes I would introduce someone, and this is like during an event where I have to speak in front of an audience. And so I learned how to do that and how to prepare and speak in front of a lot of people, which is hard.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you got to prepare, and now you're ready for this event and other events coming up.
Yes.
It sounds as though your confidence has grown within you throughout your time at the First Tee, obviously starting from a very young age to the college age that you are now. That's a natural progression. But do you credit the First Tee with bringing that out of you as you came through the program?
Yes, definitely. They've helped me and taught me everything that I know.
That's wonderful. We talked a little bit about Pebble Beach and the experiences that you had and the Battle of the Boot, but beyond the golf course, how has First Tee kind of benefited you in life, or any other experiences that you had that wasn't specifically golf based?
Well, in golf, you have the 9 core values, which the First Tee has taught you. And I think those 9 core values can be applied in school and in life. So, for example, honesty. Because of golf, you have to be honest with your score, but I feel like I'm more honest to people in general. Like if they're talking to me, I'm blunt. Or integrity, which I can apply by if I'm doing an assignment, I'll do it with purpose and stay true. And then sportsmanship and courtesy. Courteous to others. I open doors for people, or I'm just nice to them. I listen to them. And respect, which ties into courtesy. And just like the 9 core values in general, they really teach you to be a better person outside of golf.
That's awesome. It's always good to hear that you can transcend, what you learn on the golf course and take it into your everyday life. It sounds like you're doing a wonderful job of doing that and being the game changer that we're so thrilled about working with young people to be. How do you feel about your college life? Do you feel more prepared to take on college and career because of those key skills that you've just mentioned that you learned in the First Tee?
Yes. Everything that the First Tee has taught me has helped me mentally prepare myself for college. Like learning about goal ladders and go-to teams, that has really supported me and like helped me be ready for college. But also like the life skills of communicating and meeting with people, or like help me go out of my comfort zone and meet new people. And going, for example, like when I first moved into college, it was hard talking to people and participating in class discussions or like talking to my roommate. So I remember what I was taught and I try to apply that. But also like other first T values like STAR and the 4 Rs, which is stop, think, anticipate, and respond. I can apply that to all my assignments and doing schoolwork. And then the 4 Rs, replay, relax, ready, redo. I apply that in scheduling what I do each day so I don't do too much of schoolwork or too much of golf, or like I don't go with my friends too much and like skip out on the schoolwork. That's how that's helped me.
Excellent.
So
It sounds like you've got a really a good balance there. A good work,
yeah,
college work and life balance. Tell us about the experience. How are you enjoying? I think you live on campus. You said,
yes.
What's university life like? How has it changed? What struck you as different since you've left your high school and gone on into the college experience?
A lot of people talk about how college, you're by yourself in a way and you don't have that your family or your parents right there telling you what to do. And I didn't realize how true that was until I actually moved out and like lived in the dorms. So now I'm on my own. I'm in my room. I don't know what to do. I'm just sitting there in my bed. And then now I have to learn how to like, not that I wasn't already doing it before, but I have to communicate with my other roommates. I have to clean. I have to do laundry. I have to figure out food. And
that's important.
Yes. And I also have to watch how much gas I'm using. So at the beginning, it was hard. I didn't know how to go about doing all of that, or it was overwhelming. And then school started, so even more overwhelming. And I was kind of like drowning. I didn't know where I was going or what I was doing. But as time went on, I figured out a balance, like you said, and it's better now. And it's so much more fun after figuring everything out. And I enjoy it more now that I figured everything out.
Well, as you said, hopefully some of those skills and techniques that you learned over at the First Tee of Fort Worth have helped you strike up that balance and figure things out and made you comfortable now. And going back to the classroom, I assume classes are going well. What field of study did you go into?
So I am thinking about doing computer science, but I also have an interest in accounting and finance. Computer science I was interested in because I saw a video back in high school about big data, and that interested me, so I wanted to learn more about it. But also accounting and finance, I'm really good with numbers and doing like balancing the checkbooks and all that. I found that interesting. So I'm kind of in between the two.
Both very good skills to have, though. I know that you'll either continue to work on both or figure out which direction is really appealing to you. But I do know also with your First Tee Scholar status that we've been able to connect you with a mentor there in the local area. Could you tell us a little bit about the mentor that you have and how that relationship's going and the kind of things that you do together?
Well, getting my mentor was a process. So I didn't get to meet my mentor until maybe a few weeks back, and we actually had a phone call, and I'm really hopeful about our relationship. I think she'll be a really good mentor, and she can teach me a lot of things, not just career wise, but also as a person and in life. I'm really like her, and we actually are going to have another phone call soon coming up. She works for AWS too, I think. So I'm really excited to meet with
Correct.
her.
Yeah. I think Lauren Song from AWS, a
Yes.
great relationship to have, especially in that computer science area. I'm sure she'll be a really strong mentor for you, and give you lots of advice, and help you through all of those challenges that you may have to start with, and then keep pointing you in the right direction and give you continued guidance as you work through your college life and college career.
Yes.
What would you say finally to kids that are maybe like you back in the early days as a 5-year-old, or not sure what it's all about with golf? What would you say to kids that are considering getting involved in the first team?
Well, to kids that are 5 years old, I don't know how much of a decision you have with your parents, but to the parents with little kids that are considering getting involved with First Tee, I think you should definitely go for it and try it out and see how it works, because you really can't know, or you can't really know what something is or how it's going to affect you or what something's going to be like if you don't try it. So I think First Tee is something you should definitely try, not just because it's golf, but also because there's so much you can learn from it, like the life skills, the golf skills, meeting people and connecting. But to older kids, that has more say in what they want to do. Maybe seeing that First Tee is golf, and seeing that, oh, golf is boring. It's not like a fast-paced sport as much as other sports. Don't let that be your decision maker, I guess. Like, don't judge a book by its cover. First Tee is a lot more than just playing golf. It's meeting the people there and learning those life skills, like goal ladders, 9 core values. It's definitely something that can help you further in life.
That's excellent. And yes, I'm glad that we can recognize that the First Tee is much more than golf. We obviously want to grow the game. We want people to have that healthy habit, that healthy activity for their lifetime. But also, as you say, the core values, the life skills, the career advancement, career advice, all plays into it. So I'm happy that you recognize that and have benefited from that. I'm glad that you'd be able to share that with some of your colleagues or some of your younger friends when you become a mentor to them. And golf can be interesting, especially the way I play it. I get to see lots of the golf course. So, this is great. This has been wonderful. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today, Mauson. I hope that everybody has enjoyed learning about you and listening to your journey through the First Tee and on into college. I'm sure that your AWS mentor is going to help you through that college process and beyond as we think about career advancement. So I'm happy that we've connected that with you, and congratulations on all that you've achieved so far, and best of luck for the future.
Thank you.
With that, we'd like to take another look at a very brief video.
We use golf, a game that is probably the most challenging game that you can play as a tool to help kids for life.
They really help us to network, to connect. We really get better with our game. They're really just somewhere that we can grow.
It's just about building the connections, making friends, playing and having fun.
It's more than a game. It helps them like be more independent, more secure as a person, helping others. I think it has given them more confidence, and I think that helps them with everything else.
It's just an amazing sport, and it's open for everyone, especially the 9 core values is very practical. You see the coaches modeling it, when they take them out to the golf courses, just by the way you're supposed to walk, when you're talking to someone, looking in their faces, how you have to shake someone's hand, just those basic human interaction. It's a big growth, and parents, they're going to see amazing changes in their kids.
It's taught me not to doubt myself, and it's taught me to never give up because everything's not going to be perfect the first time. So if you keep going, you'll eventually get where you need to be.
This game is about perseverance. You may hit some bad shots. That's okay. You're going to have some bumps in the road, but keep going.
Having companies invest in First Tee and give their time and resources is invaluable, because we definitely could not do everything that we're able to do and provide the experiences that we provide for our participants without their support. So it just opens the door for us to give more impactful experiences to the kids in the program.
I hope you enjoyed that video as well. Within that message, you would have seen Ron from the First Tee of North Florida talk about the importance of corporate partnerships and community support for their chapter to be able to deliver programs to young people. Relationships like that are vitally important. Our relationship with AWS is a fantastic one. It's one that we've really enjoyed from the First Tee organization, and I believe that AWS has really reveled in the work that we can do together. I think part of that success has been the alignment of our values. We believe in one another's mission, and we have very similar ethics when it comes to approaching our work. On the slide that you can see on the screen, you can see how AWS leadership principles overlap with the core values of the First Tee and the messages we send to the young people in our programs. One of particular interest to me is how confidence and think big overlaps. We want our young people to have confidence. We want our leadership to have confidence. Whenever we discuss a program with AWS, they always say, think big, go bigger. How can we do more? How can we reach more young people? How can this program be better? That's something that I thoroughly enjoy as a liaison with AWS. I know also with the AWS leadership that trust is important in everything that they do with the First Tee, with their other clients, and how that overlaps with our courtesy and respect and honesty core values really brings us together. And what it does is help us align. When we come in, it's not just a relationship where they're supporting us with financial means. We're in this together. Everyone that has been involved with the program is jumping in. And that's what we want to see from our partnerships, is engagement from the leadership, engagement from the staff, getting involved on the grassroots level, going out to chapters, volunteering, taking a look at the programs that are happening and coming back with feedback to the headquarters as we build out programs for the future. So our relationship is one that is very much aligned. And these are the relationships, as I say, that we thoroughly enjoy. With that, I'd like to invite you to consider how you could impact the First Tee on an individual or from a corporate perspective. Think about the things that we've talked about today, the reach that we have, the locations, the channels that we reach young people, and maybe consider where you can get involved in your community. Is it an opportunity for you to go out and witness programs? maybe see these kids receiving the program in action, see how you can get involved. Do your company values align with the values of the First Tee? As we go on to build game changers, can you do that with us? So we'd love for you to look into what's happening in your communities. We'd love for you to search the website, find your local chapter, reach out to me at the headquarters if you want some local connection points. We'd love to continue the conversation. I hope that you've been able to learn a little bit about the First Tee. I hope you've been inspired by Malison's journey, where she is now and where she's going in the future. There are so many more young lives that we can impact in that way. And I encourage you to continue your interest in the First Tee. I thank you for attending this session. And again, thank you for your interest and commitment to supporting the First Tee in the future.